Hey y'all, it's me, Melinda Dawn, your host of Unapologetically Yours. And I asked the question, what if me being unapologetically me is exactly what sets someone else free? Who knows? Actually, a lot of people know. a lot of people, a lot of people have come to realize that me being unapologetically me gives them the permission that they didn't know they needed to give themselves or that they were allowed to make to be just them. So I show up in a way where I give my whole heart so others can do the same, so they can show up just the way they are, loved without limits. So this morning was the first day back for the kids to go to school since the winter break. And it was not a mixed bag. Maybe it was a mixed bag. For me, it was just sure determination to get them there. And the mixed bag would be they had different feelings. They were not ready. They did not want to go. Kalel actually was pretty spectacular. He just wanted 5 more minutes to sleep. Michaela Sue woke up. I picked her up and I snuggled her and I got her to the bathroom. And when I started to get her ready as far as put clothes on and things like that, she was furious. She was exhausted. She was tired. I'm tired. Jacob came in and helped me. It was definitely a two-person job to get her socks on her feet, her pants on, her shirt on, all of it. It was a lot. And he carried her to the car, kicking and screaming. And she let out this blood curdling scream. she was not happy. I was really nervous about would she be screaming once I got into the car. Thankfully she wasn't. She had calmed down pretty quickly. But her scream reminded me of the unheard screams by many parents during this break, wondering how many more days, counting down the days for their kids to go to school. So I didn't try not to do that. I was very intentional about staying in the moment, enjoying the moments that I had with them, but it was time. It was time. And so for me, there was nothing bittersweet. It was simply sweet. The sweetest part was getting them to school early without any stress, without any pressure. Also, because it's a two-person job and my husband was up for the task. I'm super grateful for that. And yeah, so that was that. Let's see, what else? Um, I was thinking about the scream though, and how I've screamed. I have locked myself in my room and screamed into a pillow. I have screamed in a car. Have y'all done that? You parents out there, did you get the scream? Or were you screaming hallelujah? um, hmm. Anyway, there's a new countdown coming. The countdown for kids. When is summer going to start? Um, I'm not I'm not counting those days. I'm going to enjoy these days that they have where they are there. And I talked to my husband about just praying more, like praying over our children for their health, because I don't want not one of them to catch any kind of school cooties and come home spreading germs. No. No, that's not for me. That's not for our house. I rebuke that. So, all right. So prayer, more prayer. Um and I'm grateful for a partner who will pray with me, and really just for our partnership. So, yesterday, something I wanted to share was I had a conversation with a friend, and it just reminded me how much I need and desire to grow. Okay, so there have been a series of conversations that I've had with different people. One I've talked about before. So there was someone I was chatting with, and that person started talking about someone that I care deeply for. And I deeply cared for the caller too. But this person was talking about somebody else that I found myself getting very defensive. And I found myself coming to their aid, their defense, right? And then it got heated. It got really heated, and I was like, whoa, our relationship's about to tank. And I was able to like take a deep breath, like an audible big breath, and just like ask, can we do a redo, right? A do-over where I can show up for you the way that you need me to be on this call, because you're calling, you want to vent, and you have every right to, and I want to hold that space, right? So that was one example. Another friend I spoke to, and they were really frustrated. I could hear it in their tone, and it had nothing to do with me, but I was absolutely impacted. And the person said, I'm going to say this as kindly as I can. And they proceeded to share the things, which ultimately was they're going to do what they're going to do. So I heard them, I let them go, and I typed up a pre recorded, if you will, text, right? It would be pre scheduled, and I set it for the next morning so that I could get out my feelings. And my feelings were ultimately, yes, you said you were going to say something with kindness, and you did your best. And I did not feel kindness at all. I felt like it was inconsiderate. It did not consider me, not one moment, not my opinions, my thoughts on the matter, a direction that I would like to be explored towards these plans. And I pressed send, but again, it was scheduled for the next day. So later that night, the person resolved the entire issue. I never had to send the text. And while that person might see this episode at some point, and they'll know it's them, it was not necessary when I talked to that person again to then say, oh, well, you hurt my feelings, and I know you had intentions that were positive, but it had a negative impact. I just I let it go. And in my message that never truly got sent, right, because I just deleted it, one of the things was just acknowledging to them that I could hear the frustration, right, that was going on, and that I knew it wasn't about me, and that I'm sorry, and ultimately that I hope that it'll get better, right? So that was another one. And then a third one was somebody else who wanted to get support from me in relation to another person. So that individual knew that I had a relationship with the other person and asked, can I vent to you? Basically, can I safely tell you what I'm feeling without you coming to the other person's defense, being on my team, if you will, in this moment where I am expressing? So I took a moment, I took a breath, and then I showed up saying, all I know is whoever he or she is, I hope they're doing what the heck you say, right? So we got a good laugh out of that, and they were able to say all the things that needed to be said without me judging them or without me showing them all the ways that they were wrong or could have been wrong or how the other person was right. And it was really good. Okay, so now the conversation I had yesterday. I found myself, so I'm a fixer. I just am. I'm a fixer, and I'm an unlicensed coach. I have no certifications. I am an uncertified life coach. uh, and ultimately, that's how I was showing up on this call. And there was some pushback to my brilliant advice. No, there was some expression. The person expressed their feelings and where they were coming from, and then even with my fixing, it turns out that I didn't even understand what they were saying. So the part that I was trying to fix was null and void because that's not even what was going on. I apologized. I shared the 3 scenarios that I just shared with you to them and said, I also added that with my husband, I'll, um, I'll listen to his story, right? But I'm listening not as his partner, his wife, his friend, you know, I, I mean, I am all of those things, but I'm kind of, it's almost like a third party, if that makes sense. It sounds bad. Listening, just like I'm hearing the story, but it comes with it sometimes, to be frank, to be real, it sometimes comes with judgment, and it comes with the, fixing, right? It comes with understanding what the other person or the other details, the unknowns, looking at the big picture instead of saying, you know what, as I listen to this. So what I found is a new approach that I want to take, which is when I'm hearing someone, when I am talking to a friend, to a loved one, that I want to sit my first presence, the first hat or maybe even the only hat that I wear in the moment of hearing someone and listening, is that I am there as their person, their friend, their support. Now, I feel like that deserves a caveat. Like, I'm not going to co-sign BS, right? But there's a way to not co-sign BS and, I don't know, make it funny or whatever. But the point is that, and especially in my marriage, I want to show up in a way where he'll keep coming to me and telling me these stories instead of not telling me because he's afraid that I'm going to try to fix him or tell him how he was wrong and he could have done 10 other best ways according to moi. So, I'm sharing that because one of y'all might benefit from that. Um, we can offer reflection without fixing. We can provide truth without pressure. We can be present without an agenda. Just let me hold the bucket for you while you purge, while you vomit, while you share. And I have found because I do like to give advice, right? I have found a way, particularly with one friend, um, the one that I'm talking about, where I will acknowledge what they're saying in a particular way to where they know that I have an opinion. So if they want it, they can seek it out, you know? uh, it's pretty compelling. So, anyway. That was a good relief. Um, What I'm saying is, for those of us who are fixers, we want to smooth out the edges. Like, it's okay for there to be those sharp points, and it's okay for someone else to have feelings and opinions and use words that maybe they have a different definition for, like disrespect. That's a good one, especially when it comes to parenting. Like, oh, he disrespected me. Did he? And or did he, which was the mirror right back on you because you just disrespected him or her. Um, we do not have to rush towards repair. That's not always the answer. So sometimes growth is learning to listen without the corrections, and to hold space without rushing the moment, for it to have a finale, for it to be perfectly closed or named or any of those things. And this is true for our relationships with our children, our friends, ourselves as well. Like, hold the, allow the sharp edges. Ooh, I'm getting packages. Delivery. I know there's at least two books, the same book, Standing Between Worlds. I am gifting that to a few people. So that's that. I want to invite you to scream in a safe place. And I want to remind you that you deserve the very same thing that I'm suggesting you can offer. A place to pour out your grief and your opinions without somebody trying to smooth the edges, without someone coming in with a fix. You deserve consideration, to be part of the planning committee, if you will. Be the example, yes, but also be the willing recipient, who receives the grace and who receives the care to say all of the things, use the wrong words. I don't know. Use a word that doesn't mean what you think it means without being corrected. They know what you meant. Being seen matters, and I think that's a great, oh, there's my timer. I got a Zoom call in a few minutes. And I lost what I was just saying. Being seen matters. Seeing yourself, your value, your worth. You don't have to do this alone. You don't need to wear all of the different hats. You can just be, you can just be exactly you, the way that you are. You can love you, and you can find people who love you too. You can confront the fixers like me. And if they've, I don't know, got even just a smidge of humility within them, you'll find, because they are fixers and they want to repair the relationship with you, that they will listen, that they will hear you, that they will respect the boundaries that you want to install. They'll be supportive. So you're not alone. Find you some good people, some friends, some partners, who will hold that same space that you do for them. Now, everybody isn't you, and they don't think like you. They don't even have the same definitions as you. But find someone who will give you the freedom to be exactly as you are, warts and all, sharp edges and all, sharp teeth and all, without trying to make you something different, paint you as something different. Someone who will accept you just the way you are, which is, I'm sure, altogether lovely and exquisite and brilliant and brave and courageous and scared and petrified and maybe sometimes lonely. And they have room for all of those parts. And I hope that there's at least one special person that you can be the same to. Yes. I might have had a missing word, but look, I got a call in a few minutes, so I'm going to have to log off. But as ever, I remain unapologetically yours. Thank you so much.